Good evening and welcome to everybody to the Lanu meetup. We have shifted from in-person meetup to now being online. What I might get to do is I might just start muting you all, and so that we can have a nice clear run. And I'll just make sure that I haven't muted Chelsey though. So welcome to you all, and thank you for joining us on this hump day, this wonderful Wednesday. I have had Chelsey in my sights to have a conversation with us for a little while, and she was actually going to be up in Townsville. Chelsey is down in Brisbane, and she was going to meet you all in person. But it so happens that we are now sort of spending a little bit more time at home, and as it has been experienced tonight, we have only one other person in Townsville live with us tonight. So this has been a wonderful opportunity to open this up so that some of you other people in other places can learn some of the amazing insights that Chelsey's wisdom and experience has to offer. Hello, Chelsey, and welcome to our Lanu meetup.
Thank you so much, Taryn. This is amazing. And you know what? This is our goal. We want to reach as many people as we can. So now we get to do that, right? So we put it out there and we're getting it. So yeah, thank you so much. So really excited to share my lymphatic way of life with all of your people.
Fabulous. Well, I think some of these ladies haven't met you before. I know that on my Facebook personal profile, I probably sent out every single person that I know a request to join your group. So some of them might be familiar with you, but we've got some new faces here tonight that I'm not personally friends with on Facebook. So they might not know anything about you. Can you give us a little bit of background into who you are and what you do?
Yeah, sure. So sitting here now, I am a naturopath, but that all started when I was 19. I bought my first business, and it was a figure toning business. And in that, I had 7 different machines, sort of like the old Gloria Marshalls, where I would have 6 women come into my gym, my little gym, and they would sit on a machine, and one machine would wobble their bottom, and then the next one would move their legs up and down. So if they were uncomfortable exercising in a grunty gym, they could come and work out with me. And then the machines assisted their body, but it also moved them in all different ways that they weren't getting moved. I then became a massage therapist and then a remedial sports therapist. And I started moving and feeling the body. And the difference I felt with people who I would massage and move them, that the soreness in their body would release. They would feel so much better. Their active levels, activity levels would just go up so much. So I'm thinking, oh, what is all this about? And then I moved on from there. I was the first person to, like with my big day spa that I had down in Brisbane, I put in a Vichy shower, once again, massaging the body with water. And that then helped increase movement. I thought, what am I doing here? What am I doing different? Why am I getting these results? Why do people are still coming? I had 40 people a day coming through my clinic. It's like, why can't other people get these results? I don't understand. Like, they've done the same training as me, but they didn't do the right technique, and which we'll go through with the sequence. And then from going on to that, it's like, okay, how does this work? So I did some research and I looked into lymphatics, and the way that lymphatics is done with the doctors and taught is completely different to, not completely different, but a little bit different to the way that I do it. So I thought, oh, well, that's not what I'm doing. I must be doing it wrong, because these guys know what they're doing, and I'm just a little massage therapist with a little clinic. And, you know, I don't know why they're doing it this way. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I just kept it under my hat, but just kept on going. And then when I became a naturopath and became in a group environment with, you know, the power of a group and the power of support is so important. So the support that I get from my naturopaths, the other girls in my group, to say, Chelsey, you have to go public with this. You have to tell people, you know, what you've got is so amazing. I'm like, oh, you know, okay, let's do it. And let's figure out a way that I can teach people at home how to do the process on themselves, because we can all do it and we can all make a difference in our lives just by doing an easy sequence.
Put myself on mute there. And I think, Chelsey, that is the beauty of what you do. I know for people who aren't familiar with my story, I was diagnosed with lymphedema 3 years ago after a breast cancer diagnosis and an axillary dissection. And so I have come into this world of lymphatics with not knowing a huge amount of it. And upon discovering you and your amazing creams and what you're doing, you're actually shifting the way things are done. Because with all my research, what I understand now to be true is that anything that comes out in the formal world of lymphedema research is taking 10 years before it comes out into clinical practice. People like me with lymphedema don't want to wait 10 years to feel better and to cope better. And I know that what you do is not just for lymphedema. What you are doing is you are doing this amazing thing where you are doing proactive care, and you're unlocking pathways to disease, really, by freeing up some of those blockages and creating a less sluggish, working body. So I just think what you're doing is absolutely remarkable. So how long have you been doing and you call it lymphatics with an FAT, and we'll get to that later. How long have you been doing that for?
So my lymphatic sequence, or the lymphatics as a business, is only just new. Like the lymphatics as a business is only just new. But I've been doing my sequence, well, I'm 44 now, so 20 odd years in clinic. But now being able to, like, the lymphatic system is 15 liters in your body. It's massive. It's what transports fat. It's your immune system lives in there. So if you think of a house and you've got all of these areas of your house, but the waste will go into the toilets, into the sinks, into the gutters, and all these different areas. If that all gets blocked up and doesn't have a drain, it's all going to get stuck. Your nutrition isn't getting transported around. It is so important. So if you think about it that way and moving it all, coming up with a sequence so we can do it at home, it just seems logical to me. And being able to move and pop the cork and move that lymphatic system around, because it does get rocks in it. All of the things, right? All the things that we have to detox from. We all know what we should stay away from, but there is so much of it. We're born with a lot of it in our bodies, but if we can just keep moving that around. Yeah. So the lymphatic family really has only happened in 12 months. In 12 months, I've developed my gloves and my cream, and then the new products that I've got coming out. It's only really been 12 months of the products.
Well, I often wonder whether I manifested you because the things that you are saying are the things that I intuitively feel to be true. So, and I do this from a lymphedema perspective. When you get told to be really, your lymphatic system is surface level and you've got to be really soft and gentle and do this feather-light touch. Whereas, for me, I know that I've got such a sluggish system that if I did the feather-light touch, and I have been doing the feather-light touch, I've actually been going backwards in my treatment plan. But you touched on a really fabulous, interesting thing, because what people don't realize, you've mentioned popping the cork. I'm not sure if people know exactly what that means, because it's not really a champagne bottle we're talking about tonight.
Yeah. Well, I want us to treat our body like we are a bottle of champagne, not a tube of toothpaste that we're just going to squeeze from the bottom. I want everyone to think that they're a bottle of champagne, and the bubbles that all come up because your lymphatic system needs to drain into your chest, in towards your heart. So if we pop the cork, we open up that area here first. You know, and that's why I think men are attracted to boobs. Just a side note, why men are attracted to boobs is so women's lymphatic systems get a bit of attention, get some movement happening through there. So popping the cork, this is where your lymphatic system needs to come up. You'll get these fatty bits that sit, the pockets that sit under your arms. You might even feel sore. Like I can have women hop on the table and I will touch them and they're like, oh my God, like I didn't know that was sore. And I said, well, how often do you touch your breasts? Oh no, I don't. You know, I don't touch them because they're sore. Like, isn't that red flags? I don't touch them because they're sore.
You know, Chelsey, certainly prior to my diagnosis, I would say that 12 months prior to my diagnosis, I was extremely sort of tender in the armpit, tender around the breast area. I went for changing bra sizes, bra types, you know, trying different things, thinking that it was my bra. And I look back at it now and think, you know, it was, if I had been really in that process of looking after my lymphatic system with your really easy sequence, perhaps my body would have been able to, you know, move things on quicker as opposed to it just sitting in a stagnant way. So that is a really interesting highlight that you've said, you know, we're not really in touch with our bodies physically touching.
Yeah. And that's the whole point of the program that I do, is like connecting to your body wisdom, and knowing what works and what doesn't, and just really connecting into that. And if it's sore, your body's telling you like something. If you're eating something and you react, you know, your body's telling you something. So we're all so busy doing all of the things that we need to come back in and shine bright and connect with ourselves to then, you know, and then we can be healthy, and then we can lead others and show others the way as well. But it has to come. And the thing is, we don't know, like everyone that I speak to about lymphatics, nobody knows about it. It's a big, even other naturopaths, you know, they don't know about lymphatics. It's just skimmed over in, you know, beauty therapists know more about lymphatics than naturopaths do, because they learn how to drain into the lymphatic system. So when they're doing their laser and everything, they said, oh, like everything that they break down goes into the lymphatic system. So beauty therapists know a lot about lymphatics because they're doing the facials. Yeah, so learning the big L word and making it fun, you know, 15 liters of it all throughout your body. It needs to be moved. And if we can get that right, if we can get our lymph right, there is not one part of your body that won't feel better.
I know that I discovered you by purchasing your product, and I ended up finding your details on the back of the bottle and sending you a message on Facebook and connecting in. And I have been recently up at the hospital doing a lot of bandaging for my arm as well. And your actual cream that you have developed, the physios at the hospital, who are really hard to break in terms of being outside of the box or doing things a little bit differently, because they're working in a system and they need to abide by some rules. But this cream is pretty phenomenal. You have identified some key ingredients that support the lymphatic system.
Yeah. So my cream, I was thinking about I was only thinking about it for a week. And then I just sat down in front of my computer and I just downloaded, these are the herbs that I want in it. These are the oils that I want in it. And then I sent that to my chemist. And because we've got a family business that makes natural horse products as well. So I sent that to my chemist and I said, can you make me a cream that has got these active ingredients in it? And can you make it work? Because I need it to be hydrating. I want everyone to be able to notice a difference the next day, like straight away from using it. But it also has to do what it says on the bottle. And so the MCT, so the coconut oil in it, everybody loves frankincense, right? Frankincense makes everything 10 times better. Gotcha cola. So the gotcha cola, the Japanese people use gotcha cola because they live to 100, right? So they love their gotcha cola. It's got the algae in it as bladderwrack. So the castor oil, arnica, there's, I think, like 13 different herbs and essential oils, lemon. Yeah, and it feels amazing on. One of my friends, she's a naturopath as well, and she just tells it as it is a lot. And we were down the coast for a weekend, and she put it all over her face, all over her body. And she got up the next day and she's like, Chelsey, oh my God, my face feels, and she's like, and you made this? Like, you rub boobs. You're not a cream maker. Like, and you made this? So I was like, yes, I did. And you wait, girl, because there's more coming. So, yeah, my cream, absolutely love my cream. So that's my body cream, my lymphatic body cream. And then you use that with the gloves. And so there is a new product coming out called Magfatix, which is our magnesium and MSM. And then my new face cream is called Face Biotics. So the feedback that I'm getting from that, I think Face Biotics is going to like outshine the lymphatics. You think lymphatics is good, the Face Biotics is getting some great reviews too.
I keep muting it because I have little pugs and somebody let the dogs inside. I was like, oh, try and keep a straight face while they're going crazy. So, you know, so Chelsey, in terms of your lymphatic sequencing, you run a 3-day boob camp. And there's been some extraordinary testimonials from women who have started practicing your sequence, using your gloves and using your product. And just, I mean, this is, I know it's not my story, but I keep telling everybody the story about women who are on waiting lists to get breast reductions because Medicare covers breast reductions, and yet they start doing your sequence and they find that their breasts go down.
Definitely. Yeah. Yep. So that, we've got people having, I love the pictures of the women going to getting the thermography, the pictures done and all the redness coming up. And then 3 months later, they go back and all of the redness is gone. The swelling's gone by doing the lymphatic massage. The inches that people lose, like, but plus the energy that people get. Like, I've got one lady who couldn't get out of bed with her lymphatics, and she came to me and just had one lymphatic session, and that was enough to knock her on her ass a little bit. So she did spend the rest of the day in bed, but now, oh my God, she has lost like 9 kilos. She is going on trips up to the Northern Territory. She is on her rebounder every day. She's using her gloves every day. She uses them in the car. And just by doing the lymphatic sequence, the energy that she has got in her body now, and just the movement and the freedom, she's exercising, she's going out, it's changed her life completely.
So I think there that you touched on something that's really interesting from my perspective. So with an impaired lymphatic system, and that's what lymphedema is that once there's a problem with your lymphatic system, it no longer drains the correct way. And I can notice that I can put on, in some cases, I can put on to 3 or 4 kilos on overnight. Now, we know that fat does not deposit in 4 kilos overnight. So that was a huge alarm bell to me to know that our lymphatic system, you know, sometimes we think, oh my goodness, I'm feeling sluggish or I've put on weight. It might not necessarily be fat. It might be that your lymphatic system is actually struggling, and it needs a little bit of help to break down. If you think about your lymphatic system being your sewage system, and things are getting sluggish and gluggy, and you kind of got to get in there and you've got to start moving it up and unblock the drain so it can drain away. So that's really interesting, because I often would say to the physiotherapists, when you weigh me, that's not my true weight. Because I can lose weight very quickly, 3 kilos overnight, but I can also put it on, and I know that it's got to do with lymphatic fluid.
When I have clients come in and they hop on the table, I just look at them and I say to them, this is not fat, this is fluid, and we can move that. They just thought, you know, they love me. Just, and it's, you can see on their legs where it comes up, and you can see those fluid filled areas that we just need to encourage and just show the way, and you know, move it around. Are we all ready to learn how to do the sequence, girls?
Yes, let's.
We all going to do it together.
Okay. I've actually got a pair of gloves.
All right, so if I just go into my background. Wendy, have you got your gloves?
Oh, Wendy's got gloves.
Wendy's going to have to tell her story as well. She's done amazing with her gloves. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you don't have gloves, or we can just use hands as well. But if you're just using your hands, just follow with your hands. With your gloves, we use the spiky side first, because the soft touch that Taryn was talking about, it is good for the body to give it a bit of a warning that you're going to go in, that you are going to touch it. So we are a bottle of champagne, so we start at the chest. We have to then, you know, think of Tarzan. What does Tarzan do before he goes off and fights whoever he fights? That's right. He does his lymphatic system, so he's got more energy to go and save all of the animals. So what you're going to do is, is just tap through your chest, just like that. That's good. And then we're not going to push from here, are we? Because what if we're blocked here, and if we're blocked here? So if we start here, we're then just going to move out just a little bit to the sides and just do some pushing through there. So with the gloves, exactly, you would just do some pushing towards the top. I feel like taking my top off and doing this properly. All right. And then you're going to start at the shoulders, and you're going to brush up the shoulders. So if you're just using your hand, you're going to brush up. And then see how I'm working down the body, but I'm always pushing up. When you get to the bottom, long stroke, and then do that again. So you're brushing up and then long stroke. Turn in light bulbs. That's it, turn in light bulbs. And then the other arm. Can you feel, does that feel any better? Can you feel the tingle in your body? Yeah. So then you just start from the other side. That's it. Starting from the top, pushing up, up, up. And then from the hand, dragging up. Using your glove. I like to use the spiky side of the glove before showers. Now, if I do this a lot, so I can go pretty hard. Some people will bruise just by doing it that hard. So if you're only just starting out with your gloves, you can only just do it with a touch. That is enough to get goosebumps. That's enough to get a surface lymphatic contraction, and then you're going up. Okay, then we are going to stand up. So we've done the top section. Okay, then our tummy, I'm gonna strip off. Our tummy, we have to do around in a clockwise. Okay, so you're going to start at the middle, and you're going to work around clockwise around your body. So if you're using your glove, you're going to go around. If you've got any constipation, kids with constipation, any constipation at all, please just do this. It'll make it so much better. Oh, ladies, I love you. Look at this. All right, so round and round and round your belly. Good. The next part is, and another good tip that I can give you is stop wearing the same undies. Stop wearing the undies that sit in the same place. I can tell with my clients if they wear the same bikini undies or the boy leg undies, because that line, same with your bras, that line is enough to stop the lymphatic. So the next part is you're going to rub over your undie line. Okay, you're going to rub over your underline, just like that. That's it. Yep. So with your gloves, you would be, yep, just rolling up over your underline, just like that. Okay. And then you're going to find a stool and then do the tops of your legs. Pushing always up. So we're always moving towards the higher section. So we're moving up, 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 and then down your leg. And guess what we're getting to last? Your ankle, and then pulling up. If you find some sore bits with your gloves, with a magnetic glove, because magnets help heal as well, you can just push them with your finger into any sore spots, and you just roll with your gloves. So starting from the top, now let's do the other side. Working up, working down your leg. And it's so much fun. Like when I do this in my boob camp, the ladies have got me on the screen in the bathroom, and one of them said that like she was naked and her husband's walked in, and here she is like rubbing her boobs and with me up on the screen, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Don't worry, it's only Chelsey." You know, can she see you? So, all right. And then up. So that's how you can do a full body lymphatic massage. Easy way to do it in the shower is to have the water going on your chest. That does a soft touch. Do the Tarzan. Rub your body with a washer or with my contact sponges or with your glove in the shower, and then turn in light bulbs and stamp your feet. Every time you sit on the toilet, guess what I want you to do? Rub your boobies. Okay? Because that's something that you do all the time. So now when you sit on the toilet, girls, you're going to think, "Oh, Chelsey wants me to rub my boobs." And you will do that 2 or 3 times a day. So you're popping the cork. Promise?
You know, and I think that, yeah, I honestly, wholeheartedly, intuitively know to the very core of me that this is proactive care. The statistics are 1 in 7 women are being diagnosed with breast cancer. And, you know, we have an onslaught of toxins in our environment. We are wearing tight bras, we're wearing tight fitting clothes. And like you said, you could tell where your knicker line sits if you're using the same pair of knickers. I know that since my diagnosis, if I'm going to sleep at night, I don't wear anything that's restrictive. So it's a very loose pair of shorts, because I've noticed that if I wear a pair of shorts with an elastic band, it affects whether my arm gets fatter by morning or not. So, and that's because, you know, we do have to clear the train station here. And if we've got tight waistbands in place, it becomes extraordinarily difficult for that lymphatic fluid to flow through the body.
So what about the people, Taryn, who aren't in touch with their body like you are? Like the other 90% of people who aren't in touch and don't even know to listen, don't even know that there's signs, right? What about all of these women?
Well, I probably, you know, I feel that I am a very sensitive being inside of my body. I had a fibromyalgia journey in my 20s and 30s. And so I was very sensitive towards that. So I am blown away that I wasn't as sensitive towards this part of it. So even people who are sensitive towards it, I think it's through lack of awareness. And that's where I just sort of love what you're doing, because it feels like what you're doing and your message is really simple. It's very easy to apply. You don't need to have a special sequence. You just have to remember about, you know, that champagne cork popping. but you're bringing this wealth of wisdom, this experience of, 2 decades of working with people's bodies into the picture. So it's really very, very exciting, and you're not waiting for another 10 years for the research to go into clinical practice. You're bringing it to people now and letting them understand it. So so we've got your is it a 3-day boot camp?
Yeah, 3-day boot camp. So the next one starts on the 18th of May, Monday, the 18th of May. So you join, I think we've got, like, with your help, we've got 800 people in boob camp, and I go live. I do 20-minute lives for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday nights. And what we do is that I will do 20 minutes of education and then teaching the sequence. And then people want to know more. People want to know, well, what else can I do? And then I talk about the hair test. I talk about, the gut. I talk about all of the other things as well. So you get like a whole naturopathic lesson in boob camp. You get to connect with other people who share their story and how just by moving their lymphatics has made such a difference to their body. So yeah, you get me for an hour, but then I end up raving on a bit more, talking and teaching the lymphatic system, the whys, and also the hows of how to do it all. And that's all completely free in my group.
I just think it's extraordinary value, and you are serving your community so beautifully. Now, for those 3 days, they can actually watch that afterwards. They don't have to do it live with you. So if they wanted to repeat that sequence, they can play it and do it in the bathroom with you.
Yes. And there is a video in there with me in my undies at the moment. Facebook have taken it down once, so I put it back in again. And so you can watch the replay now of the last boob camp that we did on the 24th. I think we started that on the 27th of April. So that is still up there as a recording that you can watch.
I think it was actually, you were doing that as a live, and you were in, your crop top and your knickers, and you were just doing your sequence. And at that point, I thought, that's it. My whole community needs to know about this, because that's authentically showing up. We all have, little bits where we think, oh, we can't do this or we can't do that. But when you front up like that authentically, you've got nothing to hide. It's very easy to go, well, if she's willing to do that, I'm willing to do it for myself too,
Yeah, I'm very big on playing a front role in life and being in the driver's seat. And I can't teach someone to be authentic and to shine bright if I don't do it myself. And it's scary to do. A lot of things that is scary, but it's also exciting. And I just go 3, 2, 1, just do it, Chelsey. And the thing that you're certain about in life is you will fail with things that you try, but then it's how you react. And then it's like, okay, well, let's do this. And how about doing that? Because I have down days too, and I think, what am I doing? But then I'll get a message from somebody to say how good they're feeling and how much their life changed, and how their kids are even now feeling so much better. So there are so many stories that just go, you know what, I have to let everybody know. And so that's why I'm teaching other practitioners how to do the lymphatic sequence. So if I can teach other prackies how to do it and educate them on the lymphatic system, well, then they're not going to they're not going to go beat around the bush when we can just work on a system that's going to affect every part.
Susan's asked where your clinic is, and I've got a bit of sad news.
Susan, my clinic is in Brisbane, but I am teaching other prackies from all over Australia, and I do a program online. You can work with me online as well.
So we might just start opening up to the chat. Susan started asking questions. So if you haven't used a chat box before, what you'll do is, you know, if you're on your mobile phone, it's a little bit different to find. But if you're on your computer and you go down to the bottom of your screen and you just sort of touch there, right in the middle of the screen, there's a little speech bubble and it says chat. And if you click on that, it'll open up a box to your right and you can type in your questions. You can either, you know, you could question one person individually. There's a little arrow there. You can drop that box down and just speak to each other individually and privately. Or if you want to do this, you can do it to the whole group. Actually, I just suddenly realized, yes. How often do you suggest that you do this sequence, Chelsey?
Okay. So this is a little bit different for everybody, because if you think of your body as a mat, and over the years that mat can collect bits of dust and dirt. The dog, you get a puppy and it wheezes on it. Like there's so many things that can all be collected on this mat. And if we're going to start shaking the mat, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to start moving. Now, I don't know what type of vacuum you've got, whether you've got a Kmart special or whether you've got a Dyson that's going to be able to suck up everything that we're shaking. So everybody has to start slowly. Start by using the spiky side of the glove before you shower. Do the little shower routine, do the booby rub, see how you feel. If you feel fine, then okay. Then go to the sequence of putting on your, because there's so many different ways that you can use the product. You can just put on the massage cream, on the lymphatics cream, and then go over it with the gloves. Whatever you've got time for to do. Don't do too much. I don't want a massive healing crisis to happen, but do enough to know that you're shaking the rug. Like I love results. I am a results girl. So I end up going too hardcore than I should. But yeah, so have a think about where your life is, how much shit is on your rug, and then go, okay, yeah, there would be a lot of stuff here because I'm a bit of a rug collector and I like to collect other people's rugs too. So if we're going to start to shake that, please know that it's going to need time to work up to doing the full sequence a lot. So I would say start slow and then maybe just use the gloves every second day to start moving through. Does that answer, Tina?
I think personally, I know that when you start doing it, it feels so good that you're really tempted to sit on the couch, watch telly, and just keep doing it. Mm-hmm. And I know that for me, I broke up in bruises because more is not necessarily better. I know that I speak from experience when I say, you know, when I'm doing bandaging up at the hospital to squeeze the fluid out of the interstitial tissues out of the arm, that and I spoke to Chelsey about this at the time, I felt incredibly unwell. And that's because your entire lymphatic system is being completely and utterly overloaded. And you are having a healing crisis. So, you know, we want to do this safely so that you have endurance and that you don't give up and you continue to do this and it becomes part of your daily practice. So if you start off a little bit slowly, know that you can then work up to something. It is addictive. I can absolutely assure you it's addictive.
Yes. Yeah. Everybody just says, I say to them, oh, you're using your gloves? It's like, yeah, of course I'm using my gloves. Like that's my thing for me. It's the thing that gives me joy. It's something that I'm doing for myself. That's another really important thing too. It's something that all of my clients are doing. That is my time, my glove time. I'm doing it for me.
You know, Chelsey, I do think that your gloves are excellent for, not that anyone's doing this at the moment, but they're excellent for long distance travel as well. Because, you know, when you're sitting there on a plane for many hours in the same position, things become really stagnant. Your risk for DVT escalates. But, you know, to go off to the toilet and to grab your gloves and do a quick sequence in the toilet, it gets everything going. And you're really doing that double care for yourself on travel trips, which hopefully we're all going to get back into doing soon. So I'll just
I do it sitting in the chair. I do it while I'm in the plane, like sitting in the chair. I'm doing it. And as something I probably shouldn't share, but if you take them to the pub with you and do your sequence, you don't wake up with a hangover the next day.
I think that is probably your piece of gold, that if had you told me that, I would have used that in marketing copy. I can't believe you've been holding out on me. I think that everyone's looking forward to some shortcuts. Okay, so Tina says, so what's with the gloves have over the hands?
Okay, so what we've got is the spiky side is the stimulation side. So just by using the spikes on your skin, it's enough for a pinch to happen. So yeah, it's enough for your skin does, can't think of the word, tighten. Okay, and that is enough for a lymphatic. Plus it's the dry skin brushing. So if you want to get rid of cellulite, and if you want to help your collagen, so to help your collagen, the best way to do it is to go until you're a bit red, and then you're going to have collagen formation. So collagen, you know, doesn't get produced as we age. It is easier to lose weight than to tighten the skin. So that's why we're using the spiky side of the glove, is going to help tighten the skin as well. And then the roller balls, they feel amazing, but magnets, if I would get sciatic from scuba diving, moving tanks, and the only thing that would help with my sciatic pain is if I slept on a magnetic mattress or a magnetic seat in my car. So I love the healing benefits of magnets and just how it rolls over your body. The depth that it goes in is also, I think, a perfect depth for lymph, and to actually move muscles and the fascia and all of those too. So before and after exercise, also amazing. If you take your gloves and you use them as a warm up before you exercise, you will get more reps out and you will feel so much better.
I have my gloves in the lounge room, Tina, and if I'm going to sit down and watch Netflix, if I'm not doing my pump on my arm, I'm using my gloves. It's kind of like it's just that it's a little bit of an addiction and it's a little bit of a routine. But I can honestly say to you that I've also got another pump where I can put on what are like booties, that go all the way up my thigh. And if I do one leg and I don't have lymphedema in my legs, I've just got it in my arm and in my left boob, and I call it a boob because it's a fake boob, they're not real. And so with that booty over my leg, if I just do one of them, the curious thing is that I can compare my feet, and one foot is thinner and my ankle's smaller than the other foot. So, you know, we aren't really aware of how much our body is holding onto fluid. And especially in our limbs, that like our legs, because they're facing downward all the time, that's why it pools down at our ankles. So I don't know why I started talking about that. I just get excited when I'm passionate about something. And and these mitts, they're lightweight, and they're in my handbag. They're really versatile, and in fact, if people are in clothing, it's very easy for me to whip out my thing and say, oh, do you want me to give you a quick back rubs? And people are like, oh, that feels amazing. As opposed to, if you're trying to give someone a massage, that's hard work on your thumbs. And yes, so people love that.
Even sitting on them. So I've got a lady who is a driver in the mines and who had a lot of pain in her body. She sits on them now when she's driving in her truck and she doesn't have the pain.
Okay, I'm just going to sit on mine because I haven't done that before, and I'm an action taker. If someone gives me an idea, I'm going to run with it and test it out.
Yeah, feels good.
Fabulous. So does anybody have any more questions for Chelsey? I'm just going to check the chat box. So what I might do, because it's a small crowd, I might take you off mute, and if anyone wants to, we'll just see if that works. Trying to unmute everyone. So I think Wendy had a story that she might share. I'll take people off mute if they want. Does anybody want to say something while they can? So you're all on, you've all been unmuted. So if there's anything that you want to say, or if you don't want to type in the box, or you were on a mobile phone and you were finding it difficult, now's your time to speak up.
Come on, Wendy.
Okay.
Yes, else if there's a pause, it's going to be Wendy.
Well, I was waiting to see if anyone else wanted to speak. Yeah, well, I started doing Chelsey's boob camp, I think it's about 3.5, nearly 4 weeks ago now. And I stumbled across her, I think we discovered through Facebook ads, which is awesome advertising, Chelsey. And like I own a Pilates studio, so I teach Pilates. I am a personal trainer. I used to be a massage therapist, and I learned a lot about lymphatic massage, but never really kind of got it until I did Chelsey's boob camp and started jiggling boobs and the little progression, bought the gloves and the cream, and I now want to become a stockist of all of the stuff, so it's just even cooler. But in 3 weeks, I lost. Like like to see visuals, and I don't weigh myself. I don't really rate that, but I took measurements at the start of it, and I'm so glad I did, because I lost 2 centimeters off my boobs, which my boobs aren't real anyway. So to lose much there's not really that big a deal, but I lost 6 centimeters off my tummy and 5 off my butt. So I was like, and I've got a big booty, I'm voluptuous, curvy, you know, so yeah, it was really nice to see those results in 3 weeks, because I thought, I can't see how this is going to make me lose weight. I changed nothing else. I eat fairly well. Yeah, I do eat crap every now and then, and I like a glass of wine here and there, but I drink plenty of water, and I do exercise a lot. So at the moment my studio is closed, so I'm teaching Zoom sessions, and more than I normally would. So yeah, that's like amazing results. I'm so stoked. And I've been teaching, well, not teaching, but showing my clients, which I have really small groups in my Zoom sessions, just a little bit of what Chelsey's shown. So I want to learn to teach it now. So it's very cool.
Did you have any detoxification effects yourself? Did you feel?
Oh yeah, yeah. For the first after 3 days, I got like a bit of a dull, you know, the dull detox headache at the base of your skull. I did go through a bit of flu-like symptoms. Nothing major, just made me feel a bit like sort of run down. But I seem to have shaken that off now, and it hasn't stopped me from doing anything. I still have been teaching 2 to 3 classes a day, and doing, you know, kid stuff in the afternoons when they're home from school. And yeah, it did make me feel a bit yuck, and I have felt like I was going to vomit at one point, but I think I just got like Taryn said, I was like very excited, like, oh, well, let's do this, and let's do lots of it. And like, I didn't start off really a lot at the start, so I did like 1 a day. And then when you suggested the 2 and 2 thing with the boob camp girls, yeah, I committed to doing it twice a day, and a couple of other things as well. And yeah, I seem to, because I have like, you know, solid legs and a booty, I tend to want to focus on that area. So I do give that a bit more attention than the other areas. So I had soreness under my boobs at the start. They were really sore to touch underneath, and under my armpits on the side boob. I've noticed like the little pockets of fat here have started to disappear, as well as the back fat, which is wicked. And Chelsey mentioned about the top of the inner thigh being a good sign that your lymphatic system's blocked. I have that, so I've been giving that a good hammering lately too. So yeah, but it's been really good. I love using them. They're so cool.
Thank you so much. You know, that's exact. See, you're a health professional, and you still have the detoxification effects, and you're noticing the differences, right? So, yeah, which just ingrains it for you to go, oh my God, this is amazing. This is something that everybody can do to add to what they're already doing. Yeah. Yeah.
It's awesome. Really cool.
Thank you, Wendy.
That's okay. Anytime.
So Wendy just touched on a few little tips there about, you know, knowing that your lymphatic system's not ideally, you know, doing a great job. So, but was it the top of the thighs? the inner thigh.
Yes. Yeah, so you can see how your leg goes up, 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 and then you get that pouchy bit. You can't really see, but you get that fatty bit that just sits, that pouchy bit that sits there. And you can also tell by the texture and then the feel. So lymphatic feels different in different people. So you've got, sometimes it feels like rocky road, like you're going rock, 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 rock. Sometimes it feels just thick and heavy. So there's all different stages of the feel of lymphatics too. I go into that in boob camp a little bit more about the different the feels of how, if you can feel like if it's calcification, like hard rocky areas, like the acids that are just causing blockages in your body. You can feel sometimes it's like rock, 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 all of these lumps. It feels like when you feel it in somebody, like gravel. Mm-hmm. Like gravel, like a rocky road, like rocky all the way up their arms. You wait till you feel it in somebody. And then you've got a thickness, or then you've got tissue that is really fibrous as well. So, you know, that we need a lot more iodine in our boobs. We need to cover our boobs in iodine quite a lot. Yeah, so there's so many different feels too.
Actually, when you talk about iodine, I do the iodine test where I paint my feet with iodine and, you know, check how long it takes to absorb it. So there's a question over here. Oh, it's Kelly. She has a question. I thought she said she has quercetin, which I know is really good for.
Yes.
Really good for your lymphatic. I'm like, oh, she's really onto something. But Kelly, go ahead and ask us your question.
I was just going to ask, you know how you bulk up a few kilos and expand before your period? Does that have anything to do with your lymphatics? And
yes, and the other L word, liver. You know, yes, definitely. So we need to work on liver and having excess estrogens, and yes, it does. So you will, if you can increase your fiber in your diet, help your liver, and yet keep everything moving. You might find that your bowels might change too at that time. We need to keep your bowels moving as well. But yes, I would definitely be doing the sequence then too.
I'll just double check that there's no more questions. So I know this is, I keep chiming in and putting my 2 cents worth in, but it does kind of apply to the fact that when you're using your product, you're breaking down fat, freeing your fat from your lymphatic system. And I know for a fact that in terms of women who are developing breast cancer, your risk of developing breast cancer increases with age. And a lot of the breast cancers are actually estrogen positive or estrogen sensitive. Now, as we age and we go through menopause, we actually start to put down these fat layer deposits around our body. Fat, in fact, stores estrogen. So, you know, if you are thinking about doing proactive care and reducing your risk profile for breast cancer, you know, reducing the deposits of fat within the body is really a proactive step forward. So, and that's not necessarily meaning going out and dieting, but when you are working with your lymphatic system and you're using those tools that Chelsey has given you with that sequence, with some of these oils that support your lymphatic system, you will in fact be breaking down all those little globules of fat, so you can't store excess estrogen that your body really is going to use to drive if you were at risk for breast cancer. So that was just, I'm the queen of trivia.
Yeah, and your fat has to store toxins. So all of the things that can't get passed through your liver, if your liver's not working as well, has to get stored in your fat cells, and then your body will store it away from your vital organs for you to live. So a lot of fats will store the toxins in your cleaning, in your makeup. In, like, normally when people have their last 5 kilos to lose, is a fat that their body won't get rid of because it holds on to the toxins. So we really have to, yes, we're doing all of these things to move it all around, but identify what you're putting in and on your body that is putting more toxins in. Too. Yeah, all the estrogens, or the estrogen mimicking, or the plastics, you know, the perfumes, the bromides, you know, there are so many different things that we can go, okay, what is this? And do I need it? And I am putting that into my body.
Well, this has been really interesting, and I'm so grateful for your generosity with your time, with your intellectual property, and for taking us on a sequence. You've been extra generous, and you have a little gift in store. Instead of doing a lucky door prize, you've got a gift in store for each and every one of our participants today.
Yes, a lot of my tips are in my ebook. So everybody can definitely download my ebook, and it's on my chelseygene.com website. And everybody can join Boob Camp as well to come in there. Next Boob Camp, we will be having a special with my new Magfatics product. So I invite you all to come into there as well and learn all about the magnesium and the MSM, to use that with your gloves as well as the cream. So please follow my ebook, have a read about the toxins, learn about what's in the environment that you need to get rid of, and then follow the sequence through. Learn what to do, like have a read of what to do in the shower, have a read of all of the different things that you can do. But I bet you all know things that you can do. You need to move more. You need to get your whole body moving. We need to stop eating crap. So a lot of it is makes, you know, we all know, but if you can follow my sequence and do, you know, a little bit more, now you know the reasons behind it, why. We need to make your why big. So if you can read, jump in there, jump into Boob Camp. I do lots of little free activities in there too. So yeah, I'd love you all to join.
Super. Chelsey, thank you so much. I think Susan's just said, thank you very much, ladies. So this is coming to the end of the evening. I'm incredibly grateful to all of you for fronting up here live. I know that it's big ask when it's 7 o'clock on your Wednesday night, and you know, it's usually dinner time and sorting out families. Incredibly grateful for your support. And, you know, happy Mother's Day to you all. Hopefully this Mother's Day, you're going to give yourself a priority listing, and you're going to start doing things for yourself, like looking after your lymphatic system. Thank you to Chelsey Jean. Tomorrow, the email will go out with the Zoom recording. Inside that, we'll do a link to Chelsey's website where you can download that free ebook, and a link to her Facebook group for the 3-day boob camp. If you haven't joined it, what I love about it is that it's authentic, it's real. Chelsey calls a spade, says things as they are, and it really is a great place to hang out and meet some like-minded people. Thank you, Chelsey.
Thank you so much, Taryn. Thank you so much, ladies. Just from seeing you all stand up and participate and take action, you've made my week. Thank you.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
So, Kelly's just said thank you, and from all of us tonight, we'll see you in 2 weeks' time, when our next person is Holly Massey. She is the creative producer, and we talk about creativity, allowing us to get into flow, and when we're in flow, from that place, we're able to manifest. So I talk about the weird side of things, but she is in fact a producer. Her husband works in TV, and she assists him as well, and she talks about how to do some creative endeavors and what she does in order to support people in getting their projects off the ground and having a little bit of fun with it. So if there's no more questions in the chat box, we will bid you all good night, and have a wonderful Mother's Day. Good night.